Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're digging into a text that takes one of the most famous stories in religion, the fall of humanity, and flips it completely on its head. It argues that this wasn't some cosmic tragedy, but actually a critical step in a divine plan.
For centuries, right, the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden has been seen as humanity's biggest blunder. One act of disobedience that sent the whole world into a tailspin.
But what if it wasn't a mistake at all? This source makes a really bold claim that the fall was not only intended, but was an absolutely necessary part of the plan for us to progress. So let's unpack how this idea changes, well, pretty much everything.
Okay, so the core idea here is to completely rethink the fall of man. Instead of seeing it as this big failure that needed a rescue mission, this text presents it as a planned transition, a deliberate move into a new and essential phase of our existence.
From this point of view, our life here on Earth isn't some kind of punishment for a mistake made way back when. Nope. Instead, it's a super important stage of development, kind of like a school designed to give us experiences and lessons that we couldn't get anywhere else.
So the big question is why? Why was this mortal state so crucial? Well, the source lays out a few key purposes, and the very first one starts with our physical form.
According to this text, before we came here, we lived in a spirit world. And we weren't just floating clouds of energy, we had spirit forms. But we had kind of hit a ceiling. Without a physical body, our ability to learn and grow and experience things was totally maxed out. We just couldn't progress any further in that state.
So, mortality became the only way forward. It was the only path to getting a physical body, which is seen as the necessary vehicle for the next phase of our education. It was a chance to be added upon, to learn how to work with the physical world and gain a whole new set of skills.
So, getting a body was step one. The second purpose this unlocks is something the text calls true joy, and it's built directly on that first idea.
Now this is fascinating. The way this source defines joy isn't just about feeling happy or getting a quick thrill. Instead, it's presented as this unique, profound emotional experience that can only happen when a spirit and a physical body are working together.
And the text draws a really clear line in the sand here. It contrasts these temporary, artificial pleasures, which it says just lead to disappointment in the long run, with the deep, lasting experience of true joy, which comes from that fusion of our spiritual and physical selves. This quote right here points to the ultimate goal. When it says spirit and element, element just means the physical body. The idea is that a fullness of joy is only possible after the resurrection, when that perfected body and spirit are permanently locked together forever.
And that really drives the point home, doesn't it? If the ultimate goal is this fullness of joy, and you can only get there with a united body and spirit, then this whole mortal experience, the one that gives us a body in the first place, becomes the essential gateway.
Now for the third purpose. This one is described as a divine power, something that is given to us exclusively in this mortal state, and it's absolutely central to the whole plan.
So the power to create life, procreation, isn't framed as just a biological thing. It's talked about as a sacred privilege, a little piece of God's own creative power, a blessing that was held back in the spirit world and saved specifically for this phase of our journey.
This is a really interesting wrinkle in the logic here. It suggests that the fall was the specific trigger, the event that unlocked the ability for Adam and Eve to have a family. Before they partook of the fruit, they couldn't have children.
So you see, mortality is once again presented as a school, a training ground. The experience of raising a family here on Earth is seen as direct prep work for learning the creative responsibilities and the kind of love that's associated with what the text calls parenthood in eternity.
Okay, so we had these three big purposes: getting a body, being able to experience true joy, and participating in creation. Where does it all lead? What's the final destination of this whole journey?
According to the source, this entire mortal life isn't the end game. It's all preparation for a final, incredible state of being. Every single step is designed to teach us and shape us for the ultimate purpose of our existence.
And this all builds up to the most profound claim in the text. The whole point of this carefully planned journey, with all its ups and downs, is for humans to eventually become like their Heavenly Father, to become gods themselves, and to inherit everything that He has.
So by reframing this foundational story from a tragic fall to a chosen, purposeful journey, this text offers a totally different lens to see our own lives through. It suggests that our challenges aren't just random roadblocks, but they're actually part of the curriculum. And that leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. How does viewing your life as a deliberate choice, not a punishment, change everything?